What up, y'all? It's the kid FortWorthFabian, BigBossFabo. I'm back with a video for the channel, man. I'm actually doing a live stream reaction. Breaking news. Louisville, Kentucky shooting at bank leaves 5 dead, 6 injured. So this story, I believe, broke about 5 to 6 hours ago. Just getting availability to tap in terms of content, so I'm just now doing a reaction to it. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, FortWorthFabian. Road to 1 million subs. And it seems like there is continuous information or live updates being released about the case. In addition to people mentioning that the actual assailant was a former bank employee. So we have a few different sources citing some information. So we're gonna kind of just hop around and tap in. We got live now from Fox. We also got ABC Chicago. Additionally, we're gonna tap into a live stream from WHS 11. Or 11 Alive. So let's go ahead and hop right into the video, man. If you're new to the channel, check out my playlist page to get familiar with all the different forms of content I upload on the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
We're continuing to follow breaking news in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Police are now confirming 5 people have died and 6 people are hurt. Among those injured, a police officer. ABC News has learned that the suspect is dead. Witnesses tell the local ABC station they saw a man with a gun fire shots inside of a bank. The FBI is now responding. We are keeping track of this. When we get more information, we'll pass it on to you.
So that's like an initial video, I guess, when sources have released some of this information. But this is live now from Fox.
At Old National Bank. At 8:38, there's a report of shots fired at Old National Bank. Officers were on scene within 3 minutes. The suspect shot at officers. We then returned fire and stopped that threat. The suspect is deceased. This is the only time that I will mention the suspect name in this case. The suspect has been identified as Connor Sturgeon, white male, 23 years of age, who was employed at Old National Bank. His weapon of choice was a rifle.
My thing is, what did they do? What did your job do in order to make you that mad, that pissed off, to where you had to go basically firing up the whole bank? You know, just the headline of them releasing the fact that this is a former employee is wild, bro. It's wild to say the least, because oddly enough, where I used to work, right, they actually had a type of prevention class to where, you know, campus shooter prevention, informing employees about campus shooters. It's not just school shooters. There's campus shooters nowadays. Whatever grounds you may be on, there's still potential for a gunman to pretty much invade the premises and start shooting individuals, man. So there was a course that they had taught us about certain things, the do's, the do-nots when it comes to that, and they were actually mentioning how managers and bosses, right, are the most susceptible when it comes to campus or like campus shooters in terms of a work environment, right? So to hold this example, basically you have a former employee coming into the bank, shooting up the bank, killing people. Maybe he had personal grudges with these individuals, his old co-workers. But during this course, they taught us that as a manager, you're in a position to where you got a lot of pull. Essentially, you dictate a lot. You know, you could dictate whether or not somebody keeps a job. It gets set to HR. You know what I mean? Whether a certain amount of hours even qualifies, whether they actually, you know, participated or actually contributed to a valid work day. There's so many things that you play a part in to where people will feel the need to retaliate if they feel like they've been disrespected or you've done them wrong in a certain type of way. So it's crazy that they kind of mention this, because now I recall clearly taking this course to where they talk about, bro, if you a manager, if you a supervisor, be on guard. You know what I mean? In terms of if you fire somebody or have to let somebody go.
We have 5 total deceased, which includes him. But I want to acknowledge with heartfelt condolences, prayers to the family of those who lost their life today. Tommy Elliott, 63 years of age. Jim Tutt, 64 years of age. Josh Barrett, 40 years of age. And Juliana Farmer, 57. We have a total
RIP.
of 9 victims who were treated and are being treated at University of Louisville Hospital. 3 which are in critical condition, including our officer. 3 who are listed in non-critical condition, and 3 who have been treated and released.
This is wild, man. Shootings nowadays is just common, and what I've kind of tied into this conversation is like a lot of previous campus shooters, school shooters have attributed individuals like the Columbine shooters or those type of folks to their inspiration. So this is my thing. Like a lot of these kids or even individuals, grown adults who are a little bit mentally unstable, they're actually inspired by these shootings happening across the country. Some of these folks will loud and proudly say, hey, you know, I was a big fan of that. Because even to take it back to what I was just previously talking about in that prevention class or that the campus shooter class that, you know, they kind of I participated in at my old job, they talked heavily about that. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy, bruh. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. They talked heavily about school shooters will gladly say they were inspired by other school shooters.
Officer who was struck in exchange of gunfire. One of the officers, he was grazed to the left side, and the other officer suffered minor injuries to the elbow. I just want to let everyone know that the officer who is in critical condition today, Officer Nicholas Wilt, 26 years of age, just graduated from the police academy on March 31st. I just swore him in, and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer. He was struck in the head, engaged in this incident. Nick has come out of brain surgery and is in critical but stable condition as we speak. I've been down there with the family and given my love and support. Been with all of the families today to show our love and support for them, and if anything else that they need from LMPD, we will provide that. The next few days are important and very critical for Nicholas's recovery. This will be a long, complex investigation.
That's crazy, bro.
Involving
you just got sworn in as a police officer, and then like the first case or occurrence that you're on scene for is something that could have fatally killed you. You had to go into surgery for. God be with him and his family.
Local, state, and our federal partners. I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge our federal partners who have just been outstanding, our local partners, ATF, FBI. I thank you. Our local partners, University of Louisville Police, EMS, Emergency Management Services. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And for my LMPD officers who took it upon themselves to not wait to assess everything, but just went in to stop the threat so that more lives would not be lost. Thank you. Thank you for showing up, even when sometimes you are just felt like you're not appreciated. But I asked my officers when I addressed them today, if we don't do it, who will? And so they're very committed, and their resiliency showed today. And
I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, there's always been this conversation about the toughest job in America today, bro. And a lot of artists, the toughest job in America today is being a rapper. Come on, bro. Because they're targets. And I'm not even trying to take away from too much of the conversation, but the toughest job, in my opinion, and then people try to throw in being a military soldier, you know what I mean? And then people throw in the police officer conversation. The toughest, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna talk about what's the toughest, but it's hard for police officers nowadays, just from my perception. Because with everything going on with injustice, it's like the people who believe who once at a point in time thought they could have trusted in y'all and to the police force, they turned their back on y'all. That's why you see a lot of people not really riding with police officers nowadays, because there's been so much injustice happening and stuff like that, to where people want to place the blame on officers. So I really felt what she said right there.
I addressed them today. If we don't do it, who will?
You know, that's a tough position to be in, right? To where basically your whole job is to protect and serve, but we're at a point within our country to where society and the people don't even believe in police officers that much anymore. People don't even want to call the police when threats occur. Imagine to where your life is in danger, but we're in a society nowadays to where you don't even care to call law enforcement.
So they're very committed, and their resiliency showed today, and their professionalism showed today. I want to thank the governor. I want to thank the mayor, who has been with us every step of the way through this trying.
Now, this is a 25-minute video. I ain't going to make this one too long, but we have an additional reaction tying into this where it's witness capture and moment shots are fired at downtown Louisville Bank. Is he saying get out of your car? He said get out of your car. You think that I would be headed in the opposite direction. I'm not stepping outside my vehicle. I'm peeling off and I'm headed home. They brought the big guns out. So this just an innocent bystander. At least he got his credit, right? They gave him his credit in the top left corner. Michael Hagan Kurd. But he just chilling on the sidewalk, pulled out his smartphone.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes.
See, like they just started letting off. Wow. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this one in the comment section down below, man. There's a lot that seems to be going on with this story. Excuse me. But
and saddened about today's mass shooting in downtown Louisville at the Old National Bank. We send our deepest condolences to the families of the victims of this devastating tragedy and mourn the loss of innocent lives. They also thanked first responders for their quick actions before adding in the statement, "We condemn this heinous act of violence and are committed to working together with the mayor's administration and state officials to prevent future tragedies from happening again in our city." And we do have teams working across the city right now on every single angle. We will be bringing you more coverage, the latest on the victims, what we've learned about the shooter, and also where the investigation stands right now. All of that coming up on WHAS 11 News at 5 right after the break.
Yeah, like I mentioned, man, it seems like they have a lot of information, you know, I guess as far as updates being released live. There's continuous information, you know, being rolled out.
Very much, Chief. Thank you very much, Chief. Today is a day that's heartbreaking for our city, for all of us, and especially for the people who were in that office at Old National Bank and their loved ones. We just heard the Chief give the names of the people who lost their lives in this mass shooting this morning. One of them was Tommy Elliott, a very good friend of mine, of the governor's.
Dang.
To Tommy's family, to the families of Jim Tutt, Josh Barrick, Juliana Farmer, Rachel and I join you, and families across our entire city and beyond, in grieving this shocking and painful loss of your lives. The Chief, the Governor, myself, We visited in the hospital this morning with several of their families to offer.
Tough, man. Tough. Prayers out to those, their families. Condolences out to families and friends of those lost, man. Prayers out to them. With that being said, I did a video the other day about Chicago mayoral election, man. I just want to say a quick piece. Obviously Chief spoke. We had the mayor, Craig Greenberg, speaking right now, right? But oddly enough, right, it's crazy when you think about law enforcement. The chief has to speak on behalf of the law enforcement in the city, doing their due diligence to protect the people of that community, of that city. But the mayor always has to pretty much, he got to make it sound good in terms of he's got to pretty much reassure the people. You know what I mean? So honestly, I didn't even know who he was when he was in the background over here, while the chief was speaking the whole time. I didn't know who Buddy was the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But he's looking very intently, speaking to the fact that, she's addressing things that he'll have to address following. As the mayor, you got to make the people feel okay. You got to make sure that they're all right. But when you really think about it, he has no real leverage and control in terms of the law, like what proceeds on these streets. He's just trying to make the city a better place. But it's just interesting enough, like the mayor has to make the people feel good, even though he pretty much has no pull like that. I mean, he got pull. I'm not going to say that. He got no control like that. It's like being the face, like the president. You know what I mean? The president isn't going out there and fighting these wars for us, but he's making the country pretty much feel okay. He's making them feel all right amidst everything that's going on. You're just the voice of reason, basically.
And every day. And say thank you to the new graduating class who was there to support their colleague, Officer Will, as he continues to fight for his life.
Hey, hopefully he pulled through, man.
Let's be clear about what this was. This was an evil act of targeted violence. And to add to that tragedy, a few blocks away, shortly after this happened, another man lost his life and a woman was shot in a completely different act of targeted violence.
The hell?
The two incidents appear to be entirely unrelated, but they both took lives. They both leave people scarred, grieving, and angry. I share all of those feelings myself right now. This is really difficult for all of us across the entire city to process and accept. I ask that we respect the needs of the families and loved ones of the people whose lives were lost today and the people whose lives will never be the same. I'm a survivor of a workplace shooting. To the people who survived, whether you were physically hurt or not, I know that you're hurting too.
Is he talking about himself personally or not? All of this is just crazy and wild to me. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video there. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this one in the comment section down below. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just a lot going on when it comes to this stuff, man. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's just too much going on in this country. I mean, a lot of chaos, bruh. Just a lot of chaos. And it seems like the news is only reporting negativity. But is it the fact that that's all that's going on in the world today? Nah, I mean, there's not too much light shed on positive things. A lot of the mainstream news outlets want to focus on a lot of tragic events. I mean, they can't help what happens in the world, right? All they can do is report on it. But, I mean, there's other things going on as well. But it just seems like we live in such a dark and gloom place because every other day, some type of shooting, somebody get killed, somebody got murdered. But, yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this one in the comment section down below. Be sure to check out my trending playlist, all the other reactions and content on my playlist page. Just to understand and know what I do on this channel, man. Peace, love, prosperity. Comment down below. Let me know y'all's thoughts and go ahead and like